All right. Welcome everyone and all Seedify HODLers to the live AMA on YouTube together with the founder of Wizard.financial, Brian Ferratto. Wizard.financial is the first project to launch their IDO through the launchpad of Seedify Fund. I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of an introduction about Seedify Fund itself. Seedify Fund is a blockchain innovation hub with a DAO-driven seed stage fund, decentralized incubator, and launchpad. With currently the launchpad becoming available to everyone. According to the roadmap, that seed funding mechanism and decentralized incubator will be released in this quarter as well, which is very exciting for all of us because it will basically create the unique staking mechanism available for all the SFUND holders at the moment and allow the vote for which project will receive a $75,000 worth of seed funding. So if you are a holder of, for example, 100 SFUND or more, you have a chance to receive an allocation in every IDO held through Seedify Fund. And even when you hold 1,000 SFUND or more, you guys have a guaranteed spot in every IDO launched through the launchpad. For example, the IDO that we're having coming up right now, which is Wizard.financial. So that's a bit about Seedify Fund. As for the Seedify HODLers, right at the start, some of us decided that it would be awesome to have a separate community, which is not officially affiliated with Seedify itself, where Seedify HODLers come together and have quality, in-depth, and price discussions. So this community grew really quick actually, and there was a lot of very dedicated Seedify HODLers that share the vision that Seedify has and wants to help to make the project successful. Now that Seedify is already to launch their first IDO, we decided that we want to approach every project that's going to launch through the launchpad for live YouTube AMAs. So all of you can find out what the project is about and what the project stands for. So right now we're going to start with the live YouTube AMA for Wizard.financial. Tonight with me is Brian Ferratto, the founder of Wizard.financial. So I let him introduce himself and tell him about his background, his motivation to start Wizard.financial, and also share a bit about his dream for Wizard.financial.
So do we do this like, are you going to ask me questions specifically, or do you want me to just rant about me?
Just a short introduction about, about yourself, who you are, where you came from, why did you start Wizard.financial, what motivates you, what drives you, what is your dream, and then we'll just continue with some questions which are asked by the community before.
Okay. My name is Brian Ferratto. I'm from America. I guess for my background that's related to this is really, I've done some writing, which will help with if we make a big story for Wizard.financial in the games and everything. I wrote a few books in the past, and a few years ago I started getting into game development and pixel art. I made a game, it's called The Ghosty, that's on Steam. I just started making it from scratch completely. I had no experience with pixel art. I had no experience with programming or coding or anything, any kind of game development. And I just started making it, and I guess I just never stopped. I think the biggest step is to just start doing it, even if it's something you've never done before. And it took about a year and a half, and then it was finished. There's a, it's kind of like not like a rule, but there's a thing in game development where any timeline that you have, you're supposed to like double it. Like if you think it's going to take you a year to do something, you should double it, and it's going to take you like 2 years. But I didn't really find that to be true. So that was a pleasant surprise. I think that developing things, if you're actually set on it, could happen a lot faster than people anticipate. And I think that'll help out now a lot with Wizard.financial, because we're going to be developing different kinds of games. It could be a top-down. I have the engine for a top-down RPG. We could make one of those if the audience wants. Right now, in the middle of development is a platforming engine, which is what our demo level is made off of right now. There hasn't even been that much development there, but it's still enough for a demo level. I think really just need to add some more hazards, add different kind of enemies and enemy AI, and then with the AI will also come boss fights.
All right, cool.
So yeah, I think we'll be all set pretty soon.
That sounds really interesting. So really looking forward for the full launch after the IDO has been finished. So thank you for introducing yourself and telling us a bit more about Wizard Financial. So now we have a bit of an idea about you and what the project is and what you stand for. But right now, like because NFTs are such a big thing, as a community, we see a lot of NFT-related projects basically growing like mushrooms out of the ground.
Yeah.
So when it comes to Wizard gaming aspects, can you give us an idea of how you believe that Wizard Financial will be a wanted NFT game to play? For example, how you plan to utilize the token in the game, and also if you would take away some part of the game, so let's say the wizard and the magic appearance, how do you differentiate your game from others, and how do you plan to be a competitive gaming platform that is future-proof?
Well, that started sounding familiar. I was like, wait, is he reading through the questions already? Yeah, I remembered this one. Yeah, so with our NFTs, the capabilities of the utility that we could put in them. So I think it's really important to have NFTs which give utility. I think that's very important. There's been a lot of NFT projects that have made a lot of money in the birth of NFTs that have no utility. When it was all the rage, they could still do that. But I think it's better for everyone involved if you have utility with it. As far as what that utility is, that is probably going to be most limited or not limited at all by which project we end up collaborating with. Because there's a lot of NFT projects out there that have come to us that have said like, hey, we want you guys to come with us. If you come with us, here's like what we're capable of. So I can't speak to what we actually will have right now because that is based off of who we partner up with.
Okay.
But I could give as examples, and some examples are more feasible than others, but we would be able to have like certain levels unlocked just by having our NFT. I think that one would be a pretty easy one. I think characters and having different characters and spells unlock is also doable, but it might not be the easiest thing to implement. But I've already thought of some easy workarounds to get it done. And staking is the easiest one, and probably for all the people that will be utilizing it, the best one, because that's something that's, putting funds directly into their pocket. So we would make it so, you play through our game and you earn an NFT, and you could end up combining them. We're going to have a marketplace. That's on our roadmap, a full-scale NFT marketplace. And we'll have the functionality where you could just combine different NFTs that you get to create an even more rare NFT. And then that rare NFT you could use to get future games. And you could just kind of, and obviously with more utility and staking and new levels and just all that, it kind of keeps on looping forward into the future too. Because that gives people incentive to keep on doing, because a lot of people are concerned about longevity. I'm probably answering like a few different questions here. Sorry.
Yeah, I think we get to a few of those subjects later on. Yeah, so
if you want to take away the wizard and magic appearance, how do you differentiate this game from others? How do you plan to be competitive? gaming platform that is future proof. Oh yeah, I guess I went into the future proof part. As far as if you take away the wizard and magic experience, how do you differentiate your game? Honestly, other than the utility that we have, if most other projects don't have that utility in a video game yet, I've only heard of like maybe one that's utilizing it in a video game. I mean, I think our aesthetic is most of it. I'm not going to lie about that, because anyone could make, like, look at anyone's NFTs. Ape swaps are about apes. CryptoPunks are about punks. If you take away their aesthetic, like, what's left? It's just it's an image. It's an image like Link, and it yeah. So I think the utility is going to be very important. And Wizard is just what we decided to go with, and it's not going to be only wizards. We're going to have an entire fantasy series. So like our next token, we're going to make a token that has better tokenomics for farming, which is going to be called Knight. And then we'll make a very, very exclusive token after that called Dragon, which there's probably only going to be about 10,000 of them created.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, we have plans to keep going through the whole fantasy. Pretty much, if it's in like D&D, then it could be seen on our roadmap in the future.
Okay, cool. All right, thank you for that. So basically, because when you look at Wizard, it's really giving a retro and vintage vibe to the game. Speaking of the appearance as well. So what are your plans with that? Do you intend to stay in this team, or do you have plans to create different teams? And also, basically, based on the graphics, do you intend to focus on what you are working on now, or are you also thinking about seriously graphically oriented games in the future?
No, I think we're just going to stick with what we have now, because I mean, first of all, I'm the pixel artist, so that's what my capabilities are. I think I hit a sweet spot with something that looks charming and with something that's in my wheelhouse. Because, like I said, I've only been doing this a few years, but a lot of people are drawn to that aesthetic. It reminds a lot of people of the games they played when they were younger on like Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and Sega. So we're definitely sticking with that pixel art aesthetic, and that's actually why we did the version 1 website in that whole aesthetic. At first, our developer didn't want me to pull out all the stops on that website yet, but I was rushing to get like multiple of the backgrounds that we have done a day, so that we could push the version 1 website out quickly. And I wanted I was really stubborn on having that wizard fly around. I don't know why it meant so much to me. I just thought it would be really cool if people saw that we want to aim for a platform that you could traverse like it's a video game. So you have this wizard that and hopefully in our version 2 website we'll be able to have it so that, like, when you load up a page, the wizard will be in the middle of it. And if you click all the way to the left side, or like if you go to a certain area in the page, it'll just load up a new scene where the background extends in that direction. So if you're on the home page and you go into the castle, the next page, the whole background will be like the inside of a castle, and there will be different corridors and stuff you could go through that'll take you like physically to the NFT Marketplace or to whatever kind of pages.
Okay, that sounds interesting. Cool. So yeah, I think age wise based, I can still remember some of the pixel based developing from the past. But how does that look for younger people? So people that are maybe 15, 20, 25, are they also having the same feelings about pixel art, or I mean, what would be interesting for them about it? Because perhaps they're more focused on like World of Warcraft or Grand Theft Auto or games like that. What would make it like interesting for them, appealing?
So I've been inside working on this for most of the time, but the other day I did go to the our family's 4th of July party, and I did actually show it to some younger cousins that were like around, let's see, one's 11, the other's 13, and they actually really liked it. I was kind of surprised at how much they liked it, because I was like, you didn't grow up with this. You've been seeing everything that looks way better than this. But I guess it still strikes them, I guess. So that's good. I wasn't really planning on it, but it's a pleasant surprise.
Oh, that's cool. So that widened your group a little bit, to also the younger people.
Yeah. I mean, being 100% honest, I don't think it would matter that much, just because like the people that are using crypto, they're not like, most of them are, old enough to have jobs and stuff. Because I'm sure you remember when you were a kid and there's like something that you wanted really bad. It's like kids can't just go out and buy it. That's one of the it's one of the problems with being a kid. There's a lot of stuff that you want to get from the world, but you're not old enough to like purchase it yet.
Yeah.
But it's good that they like it.
Yeah. All right, awesome. So let's continue a bit about the themes again, about different ways. So would you say the concept of Wizard Financial would potentially be equally successful if you would change the theme, let's say to Star Wars or another theme that perhaps might catch your attention at a later stage?
Oh yeah, I remember this question a bit. So your concept is equally successful. Yeah, I think it would be. I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to try to sell snake oil to anyone, telling them like, oh, only my thing is the best. But it's like, yeah, you could do this with anything. There's really two parts of it. There's the aesthetic, and then there's like the utility. So as far as our aesthetic, there's other people that have more of a fantasy aesthetic, and they're just doing like different things. They're not doing the exact same thing as us. They're not making video games like we are. They've gone in a different direction entirely, and that's fine because you could add any aesthetic to anything, and that just makes people like it more. That's half of like who you have to market to is the aesthetic, and then the other half is the utility. So in this example, they say, let's say Star Wars. I mean, you'd probably get smacked with some kind of copyright thing. I won't name any names, but there's already. That's hitting pretty close to home. There's been some other DeFi projects that did stuff like that, and then they had to change their mascot.
Yeah.
And they're still doing good now, so I guess that's the utility part, because they have good utility. Yeah, they changed around their aesthetic and their marketing, and they're still doing good. So yeah, I think I'm not naive enough to say that, oh no, this only works with Wizards. That you could do this with anything. I'd like to see more of it, honestly. More people making video games that are involved with crypto. I'm really excited I have a couple partnerships that I won't mention now because they're not like set in stone, but there's a few that I'm really excited to partner up with, because I think even if I like decided to take all the levels that we're going to make and just put them together as a full-scale game, or separately if I wanted to make a full-scale platformer game, there's partnerships out there that have the utility to give, like, say I made it so you could collect coins or collect something throughout the game. There's projects that could make people actually benefit from collecting those coins in game and like achievements in game, and they could turn that into actual currency, which is like that might be something big in the future. Like, imagine Steam games just coming out on Humble Bundle that you could actually make money with. That sounds really exciting.
Yep. Cool. So all right. So you don't want to say too much yet about the potential partnerships, but your white paper mentions a little bit about that Wizard is holding magical powers, and it's a magical hybrid platform. So would you like to share a little bit about that to us? What does it mean?
I mean, yeah, being a so yeah, sometimes we have like prosy language, but yeah, I mean, being a hybrid platform, that just means we have it's really not magical, that part, sadly. It's just we have a token, and we're also going to have an NFT marketplace, because there's a lot of people don't have, and most people don't have an NFT marketplace, so they're not hybrid. That's really all that is. But
okay.
As far as being holding magical powers, I mean, maybe what they're referring to is when we were talking about the magic of the coin for the to have AMM, automated market making, a charity function, auto yield, and a burn mechanism all in the same coin.
Okay. Yep.
With the anti-dragon or anti-whale features. I've been told that there's not a coin that has all of those things in one. Like people have seen all of those things, all of those functions in general, but never in the same exact coin. But I'm usually hesitant to listen to people on that. I feel like nearly everything's been done.
Okay.
But possibly. I'm not. Don't quote me on it though.
All right. Cool. So I think we've had a big part of the project itself now. Perhaps later we can have some questions from the community about the project itself.
Yeah.
For now, I want to continue about the tokenomics of a wizard.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to dive straight into it. So basically, there will be people that are going to buy the token in the IDO or after listing day to play the game, to go through all the levels, earn those NFTs. But there will also be a group that buy the tokens as a sort of passive income investment, for example, or perhaps a future price increase speculation. And I also believe that somewhere in the white paper it mentions that there are incentives for holders to hold the token after they participated in the IDO in comparison to selling. So could you mention a few of the incentives provided to people that buy the token either in the IDO or after to hold on to the token rather than selling it?
Yeah, so I think having a burn mechanism and auto yield are two like direct benefits to holding it longer because you get more. So it's like, say if we get like 5x and then people are like, oh, 5x, especially in this bear market, time to sell. You know, people obviously, if people sell that off, people that wait longer are going to be getting like 1% or however much percent we have, because in different stages we're going to change what exactly those percentages are. I think at the very end our auto yield will probably be 2%. That's what our current plan is, but that could change. But anyways, yeah, so they'll just be accruing more, whether it's a buy or a sell. So then it is, if it later goes up to like 5x again, even if it doesn't even go like, you know, I would say, oh, what if it goes 10x? Then obviously there's going to be more money if you wait for that amount. But even if you hold it, then it just goes back up to its all-time high. That person now has a lot more because of all the selling and buying that's been going on. So definitely auto yield, and then also on our platform with our games. You know, Wizard is going to be the currency that you use really for any NFTs that you want to buy, because there's also going to be purchased ones that are like have even more utility, because the ones you win from the game we'll say would be like the lowest tier, because it's not really costing you anything. You know, like money has to come from somewhere to generate more. So then if there's one that you want to buy for like however much the price is, that's going to be with Wizard token. And so think about it, like if you get a lot at the IDO price, most projects don't see their IDO price until like the bottom of a bear market. Then they'll go straight down once Bitcoin starts falling. But if to buy in at IDO price is an amazing thing. That's for a lot of people, that's like the cheapest that it's ever going to be. I think pretty much all the projects that I've invested in personally, we still haven't seen them return like anywhere near what their IDO price was. So if you buy a lot of Wizard at its IDO price or anywhere near it, you're gonna have a lot more to work with in the future. You're gonna be able to get a lot more NFTs.
Okay, cool.
And to keep holding it, yeah, it's pretty much all the normal perks of auto yield token. Plus, there's going to be functionality in video games, and you'll be able to stake those NFTs for more passive income. So you kind of just keep on getting more for holding, I guess.
Okay, so you're mentioning the auto yield. So I'm jumping ahead a little bit and then backwards again. So can you tell us a bit more about the auto yield to people? Explain to them what it means and how does it work? Okay.
Yeah. Sorry. Auto yield is like the first token that I got when I came into the Binance Smart Chain had burn and auto yield. So I've just been thinking about that like by default. But yeah, I guess there's probably a lot of people that might not be familiar with it. auto yield pretty much means, say we have like 1% auto yield. That means 1% of every buy of the token, every sell of the token, and even a transfer from one wallet to the next. 1% of all of those transactions gets redistributed to the wallets of every single holder that's holding Wizard, in respect to how much of it they have. So if you're a whale that buys up like 2% of the maximum supply of Wizard, you're going to be getting a lot of money passively, because you're going to be getting, the 1% of every transaction that's going out. If you have 2% of the entire token, then that means you're getting 2% of that 1%.
Yeah.
Which might not sound like a lot, but I've been through a lot of launches, and I've seen it as time goes on, and that stuff adds up. I've seen people gain like thousands and thousands. I've actually gotten like thousands of dollars worth of a token when the CEO did a manual burn. Because sometimes people will do that; they'll manually burn like 100,000 tokens or something. You could get a lot of money just from auto yield.
Okay. So that would be an incentive for the people that either buy now or later to hold on to the token.
Yeah, it's better the earlier you get in, and the lower the prices, obviously. So it makes buying dips more incentivizing. It makes buying at the IDO price more incentivizing. But yeah.
All right, cool. Thanks for that. So I wanna get back a little bit to the question before about incentives to hold. So because you are talking about there will be a burning mechanism, the auto yield we just discussed, but you also mentioned the charity and the automated market maker purposes.
Mm-hmm.
So that seems like an incentive to hold. While on the other hand, a large share of the total supply is sold through the IDO. The question is, what is your motivation to put such a large share of the total tokens supply in the hands of potentially profit-oriented IDO investors right from the start?
I'm sorry, which what number are we on right now?
The number 6.
6, okay. To continue, do you mind if I just read through it again?
Yes, sure. Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
To continue a bit further on the previous question, part of all transactions will be burned and also serve for auto yield purposes, charity, and the automated market maker purposes. This seems an incentive to hold, while on the other hand, a large share of the total supply is sold through the IDO. What is your motivation to put such a large share of the token supply in the hands of rather profit-oriented IDO investors from the start? So, I mean, really, this is a token at the end of the day, and we have to sell it. We have to get the foundation, essentially, of our project comes from the IDO. So we've actually shrunk the numbers of our IDO. It used to be we were planning on selling 50% of our coin for the IDO. Now it's down to 35%. So hopefully this will make this person who asked this question feel a little better already. But yeah, so just the way it works on a basic level is, you sell a certain amount of tokens for IDO, and you want to use some of that money for actually making your platform. We have a couple of advantages here that other projects don't. Our costs, the NFT Marketplace is probably going to be our biggest expense, but as far as like making the video games goes, we already have a demo. I've been paying out of pocket for the development of this already, so we're not going to be using as much of our IDO money to develop as normal projects. So we're going to push a lot more money into our liquidity. That's a huge green light for us. That's something I should be advertising more, because that's like. I don't know. Yep. For anyone who like actually looks into all these specifics, that's really huge. Having a project owners that aren't greedy is like one of the best things you could have, because all the rest of the money gets pushed into liquidity and makes the stability of your coin much better. It makes it much much more resilient to the downs of a bear market, which honestly is like probably one of the most important things for a token, because anyone could pump in a bear market, or in a bull market, anyone could pump. But in a bear market, not everyone could survive. I've already seen some coins go down by like 90% of where they were just like 1 or 2 months ago. So yeah, I don't think that it's like the end of the world if those IDO, because there's going to be a cap on like how much people could buy in the IDO. And yeah, there's going to be whales, like there's going to be whales that buy like after, like once we release, because that's just how it goes. You know, then they'll be able to buy up, you know, they would only be limited by how much liquidity we have. You know, sometimes you if there's not a lot of liquidity in something, you want to buy a lot of it, you see the price impact to go all the way up to like 10%. And it's like, yikes. And then they'll maybe stop at like 5% or something like that, price impact. But so whales will be able to buy more like after the IDO, but in the IDO, that they're like each individual person is going to be pretty limited on how much they could get.
And you would say that even those that do buy a lot, let's say through the IDO, there are plenty of incentives to hold on for the token.
Yeah, there's a lot of incentives to hold. I've had some people personally tell me beforehand, they're like, hey, when you launch, I'm going to buy 2% of all of it. It's like, well, I'm flattered. That person, actually, I won't name them, but they have over 2% of another token, and like I still check their wallet sometimes just to see like, oh, this coin's doing good. Did they sell any yet? And I don't know why. They must have no worries in life, but they still have not sold, and I don't
Really?
get it. Yeah, but so in for this, you know, with something that you could actually use for games and stuff, I think that should make people a lot more confident, because we're gonna come out with our platforming levels in installments. So I'll be able to make like a new level, let's say like one level every like 2 weeks, every month or something, and I'm gonna take community feedback. Like I'm gonna ask in Telegram, like, hey, here's a list of enemies. What kind of enemies do you want to see? Do you want to see knights in this one? Do you want to see dragons? Like what is the level going to be about? What's the setting that you want to see? And then I'll spend like a week making all the art assets for that if I don't already have them. And then it will put in, you know, whatever the new enemy is. So there's, I don't know, it's going to be a really fun project. I'm really stoked to, and I quit my day job for this. So if anyone, that'll probably make people feel better. Like, just know I literally quit my day job to do this. So this is how I'm going to make a living now. I don't plan on going anywhere.
All right, that's pretty cool. All right, so you mentioned the dragons, as an enemy. So you also mentioned a bit about dragons in your white paper. So even though as impressive they might look, they can be very cruel. And you know, through the time, many brave warriors or players like us, they wanna fight this magic beast. But you mentioned something in your tokenomics as well, that you would take care of a restoration for those left behind, orphaned by the cruelty of the dragons. Could you tell us a bit more about what you mean with that?
Yeah, that's more prosy language coming out from me. So I guess I'll go through the whole story. It's not really a long one, but even though I'm pretty long-winded about a lot of this, sorry about that. But so pretty much how it started was one of my good friends, who is the developer, said, hey, like we could have like charity function in this. We could have all this other stuff. We could also have charity. And so I heard that and I thought charity is in like a real life charity. Like we could give this to a charity. And I was like, oh my God, that's such a nice thing. That's gonna, like, people are gonna love that. And then I thought, yeah, I want to do a charity for like orphans. And then I started telling people that, like, hey, we're making a coin. It's got burn, auto yield, AMM. We got charity too. And they're like, and I would start telling them about the whole orphan thing. And they're like, Baba, you know that when they say charity, they're not talking about like a real charity in real life, right? And I was like, no, what do you mean? Like, what else could that possibly mean? They're like, no, that that's charity, like from the community. Like that's 1% that's getting taken from each sale and then you're supposed to use that for marketing. And I was like, well, we have a marketing wallet already, so could we just use it for charity? And they're like, yeah, but just know that that's not really what people do, and that's not what anyone is expecting. So, and even we're going to adjust the percentages of the burn and the auto yield and the charity, as like the lower our supply gets, the more of those we're going to start turning down the numbers.
Yep.
But even after we do that, I'm still going to have like charity events just to keep the charity thing going, just because I don't know, there's such a crazy amount of money in crypto. I feel like it costs us like what is 1%, of like anything that we're making? Like what is 1% to us? I've seen Bitcoin go from like $5,000 last March all the way up to 60, and then a lot of altcoins went up like way more than that in percentage. Like look how much Dogecoin went up by. So it's like we can't sacrifice 1% of this to help people that are like literally homeless or that literally have no parents. And it's like, no, I'm definitely going to stick to my guns there. We're doing charity no matter what.
Well, I think that's really cool. I think the community is gonna like that. I
hope they will.
yeah, no, definitely. So we've got the tokenomics. I think pretty much done in my opinion. So when it comes to this project, a lot is about NFTs, and that is basically what's making people really excited these days. I mean, NFTs for gaming, NFTs that holds other valuable, unique items like music, for example. So. This year NFTs are huge, and it still seems to continue to be quite big at the moment. Personally, I can say that for gamers it might be really interesting because it gives the gamers a feeling of that when they receive the NFT they feel like, oh, I really own this item, I can do with it whatever I want, I can sell it, I can trade it, I can give it away, I can keep it. So what kind of NFTs will be available in your game, how they will be provided benefits to the players, and to ask a few examples, like will it be like characters, equipment, potions, and can you give us your vision in relation to the practical usability of the NFTs in Wizard?
Yeah, so this is something that I've been briefed before this AMA that I'm supposed to tread lightly on answering this, but I don't think it's really something that I have to worry about too much. We could, we can make it so NFTs give you access to certain characters, certain spells. Those two things, characters and spells, are what I was advised to like, don't say anything about that probably just yet, because we might not be able to do that, or it might not be as easy as we think. And then I offered them a few different suggestions of things I could do on not the blockchain end, but on my end as a developer. And they were like, oh yeah, I guess we can do that, but you should probably first tell them about, like, don't let that be the selling point. Let the selling point be that you're going to have NFTs that you could win from playing the game, and then you combine them. Like we're going to have, you could like trade them with other people so that you could get ones that you don't have and use them for like, whether it's a different staking pool or whether you want to, you have like two of the same, so you want to trade one of them and then combine those to get an even more rare NFT. But yeah, I think from a developer's perspective, not blockchain developer, but like someone who's actually making the game in Unity, I think this could be easily achieved by really, you just give the NFT holders access to it would kind of be a different build of the game. And this is like the laziest way of doing it. It's still possible. You could just give them access to a different build of the game that has those different characters and those different spells and everything unlocked. And that's as easy as, if you already have them created, all you have to do is like check off a couple boxes of like, is this one, is this character activated right now? And then you just click it and it's like, yes, now you could have this, now you could have this spell. So which kind of works for us because we're going to have platforming stages that come out in installments. So we could just come out with like a new level every several weeks. And then, some people with a certain NFT will be able to play it, and then people that don't have the right ones won't, but then they could like, if they've already gotten all their use out of their first one, they could like trade it for the next one. It's a mess. There's gonna be a lot. There's gonna be so much stuff.
So when it comes to those levels, is there like a cap on the levels, and then let's say someone finished all those levels, can they replay the levels again and then get the same rewards or a new chance for different rewards from the same levels, or how does
No,
it kind of work?
well, no, we wouldn't want to like make it so you could keep going through the levels and getting the same NFTs over and over and over. That would essentially be inflation, but with NFTs.
Okay. Yeah.
So when I first made the project, what I had in mind was I wanted to have like really, really exclusive, like one of a kind NFTs. So that's not going to be the case with the ones that you get for like beating levels and stuff. That's going to be like a generic one that everyone gets like that same kind just for beating that level. But the ones that you'll actually like buy from the marketplace, we're going to have a couple different kinds of series. But the ones that I'm going to be selling in our marketplace are going to be 100% like one of a kind. There's only one of them. Well, pretty much instead of just doing a still picture, like CryptoPunk does, I've decided to have like strings of animations from each character as its own NFT. So like if we come out with a batch of like the Great Baba, like that main wizard with the blue hat and with the stars on it and everything, if we come out with a batch of his animations, it would be like one NFT would be the idle animation, then the next NFT would be running animation, then like casting, attacking, crawling. All that would be just a GIF of just one, just that one animation, one of a kind. And, we could make it so that if, whoever has any one of these NFTs from this batch of this character, then they could like play this character in these games, something like that, where it's very exclusive, but then we also have the generic ones that you get for beating each level.
Okay, so when I can understand the gameplay, it's basically about who beats the level first. They will get the rewards first, because every person after that, they will get the same rewards basically, but the other people just got it first.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Sorry, there's a lot to unpack here. We have a lot of plans, so feels like we're all over the place. But these are mostly things that we already know. Like we could definitely pull these off.
Yeah. So I think the next question you already pretty much answered, which is about staking the NFTs. But just to make it a little bit clear for the people, when they get their NFTs and they decide to stake them, what is it that they get in return? Do they get other NFTs? Do they get Wizard tokens, or do they get something else?
Yeah, it'll probably work in both directions, where like you could stake an NFT to get passive income, which could be in the form of Wizard. It could be in the form of one of our other coins in the future, since we are going to have more. I think Knight is going to be probably better suited to farming. There's going to be a bit more of it. But yeah, so you'll be able to stake an NFT to earn money, and then we'll probably have the flip side of it yet. We'll probably have the flip side of it, and I'm not sure exactly how it'll work yet. But I know that it's possible, because I've seen other platforms do this, where you could stake a certain amount of money, and then like I guess at the end of that staking period, however long they make it, then you get the NFT as well.
Yep.
So it'll go in both directions.
Yeah, I've seen a similar system in other games as well, where you stake for 14 days, 30 days, and then you get a silver chest, a gold chest, and it contains an NFT, and then you can use it for staking again.
There's also I'm sure you've noticed on a lot of different crypto sites, a lot of people, it seems like almost everyone now has like small like crypto gambling games. I want to make some of those pages and then have different tiers of them where you get like higher rewards for having an NFT. So that's something that I'm not 100% sure if we'll have it or when, but if we do, it'll probably be more in the beginning, because I think those games are they're like a dime a dozen. It seems like people just fork another game that they've seen somewhere, because I've seen the same exact one. They didn't even bother changing the artwork a lot of the time. The same thing on a bunch of different platforms. So I think I'd want to just put my own kind of spin on that, where it's like instead of getting like 60% of the pot. Like we could maybe bump it up to like 70 or 80% if you have a certain NFT. But other people that would be playing it, they'd still get, like a regular profit from it if they're playing without it. Something that where it's like they get a perk from it, but it's not like the end of the world if you don't have it.
Okay, cool. So now we have the NFTs done. So assume people have those NFTs and they want to trade them. So I saw in your white paper that you have a plan to launch an NFT marketplace yourself. But there is also competition. Binance recently launched their NFT marketplace, which seems reasonable, successful. Could you tell us a little bit more about why we would choose to trade the NFTs on the marketplace that you are building in comparison to, for example, Bakery Swap or Binance or any other marketplace?
I'm not sure how much of this I'm supposed to talk about. We are planning on having our own NFT marketplace, and that's definitely going to be the biggest expense. If we're able to do it, I want us to have an NFT marketplace where you're able to get NFTs on our marketplace, like from another NFT marketplace. I haven't seen one yet where it's like you could take it from like NFT Key and put it on Bakery Swap. I could be mistaken, but I don't think I'm mistaken. I don't think that exists yet.
Okay.
But yeah, we are going to have a native marketplace at the very least. And if we could branch out further than that would be great. But we have to go like step by step, because doing something like that Binance hasn't done or that Bakery Swap hasn't done yet, that would take like so much money. I'm not going to eat up all of our funds just to do that. So first we'll start out with the bare layer of like a native one that's just for Wizard users.
Yep.
And then hopefully we'll be able to branch out. I think our selflessness and how most of the funds we're putting into development or liquidity and not taking for ourselves, that could help us like reach that goal faster. But that I'm not going to lie, that's still a daunting task. I hope we could do it. If not, then it'll just be native, and we won't be reinventing the wheel. But that's not the worst thing for me, because honestly, if I could make a living, since I quit my jobs for this, if I could make a living just by doing this pixel art and just running this project, then that's like I can't ask for more. That'd just be a total dream come true.
Yep, exactly. All right. So if there's anything that you don't want to share, just keep it for yourselves for the moment. I think that's better. About the marketplace or any future plans, since we are live right now, and this is going to be on YouTube later on as well. Let's continue to the next subject, which is the marketing of your project. So I've been in the group for a while, and I've seen the members growing rapidly in the last 24 hours. It went up from like almost 1.5 to 2,000 to currently 5,000 members in the Telegram group.
Yeah.
We need good marketing. Even the best projects won't be known by the public if we don't do any marketing. So what are your marketing strategies at the moment? And is there something about that you would like to reveal to us? For example, about influencers that you have planned to use, or other ways, anything that you would like to share with us?
I personally don't like bots, so we have Shieldy up to hopefully stop bots from getting in. There's a huge like benefit to having like massively inflated numbers, because like think about it, if you're like searching for a project, right, and you see like a Twitter that only has 25 followers, or you see a Twitter that has like 10,000 followers, even if all the 10,000 ones are bots, like people are going to be drawn to that one more. So I'm not going to lie and say that there isn't perks to having bots, but I personally don't want bots like in the Telegram or anything. That's why we have Shieldy up, so that whether we have it set to the math equation one, where they have to solve a math equation first to get in, or they have to click the button. I think it's important to have most of them be real right now, especially because we have the IDO coming up. We need real people that are going to actually believe in the coin and invest in it. Exactly. So I think it just comes down to like putting the marketing in the right place and not being too cheap about it. Me and my partner have been we have a marketing allocation of our coin that's listed on the website and everything, but honestly, we haven't used any of that yet. We've just been paying out of pocket for everything so far. We're just so we've been paying out of pocket for that, and we're just trying to not get bots. Are I think two big differences. I think most projects probably wouldn't want to pay that much out of their pockets, but although there are some people that get the importance of it, so they do it anyways. There's a lot of people that use bots. I don't know. I don't see that much benefit in it. If I had to choose like one or the other, I think it's more important right now to have the real people that are going to buy the coin.
Oh, okay, cool. So that's basically focused on the bots. What about other marketing plans? Do you have something that you want to share with us about that? Influence perhaps, or is there anything that is appealing for us to know about your marketing strategy?
Specific influencers? No, I can't think of any that actually matter for it. I think that it's just organic growth is probably like the I'm not sure what you wanted to hear or what the people that asked that wanted to hear. But honestly, I think organic growth is just the best that I could give you, because anything else is like I said, it still has perks. Going into a Telegram and seeing like 1 billion people is like it has a psychological effect on someone. But I just don't think it's as important. I think the organic growth is more important, reaching people that are actually into the whole fantasy aesthetic. And then, think about it. If you're like in a D&D group and like some of your friends are into crypto and you stumble across like a project like this, you're going to tell some of your friends about it. And then there are people that are actually going to like partake in it. I think organic is just the way to go. Sorry, I'm a broken record at this point, but that's just that's all there is right now.
That sounds pretty good, I'd say, because you really want to focus on the quality of your product. You already mentioned before that it's not important for you how much money you're getting out of the IDO. So it really shows that the development of the game, the gameplay experience for the people is important. And if people like it, they will bring new people in. That's a fact. They will come if they like it. So they will share it, like you say, to their friends. So I'm just gonna ask one last question before we switch to the live questions from the community. So we are seeing you now, which is great. We have a face behind the name. So would you like to share something about the people that you're working with? Doesn't have to be names if you don't want to, but more like how many people you're working with, what do they do for you, how long have they been working with you?
I don't want to dox my partner at all, but really it's the main team is me and one of my really good friends. They're from Singapore, and we've been friends for a while. It started with pixel art. They just really liked my art, and they would ask me about it and like what programs I used to get into it. I think they were trying it for a while, and they're like, "You're an absolute wizard. I don't know how you like do this." And I think it's also just because of the program that I was using, because like there's so many better pixel artists out there, but like I was using it on like a free program. And I don't know, they just really didn't like it. They thought it was terrible to use, but I love it. I've been using it for so long. I started from scratch with it, and I've been making all the GIFs. Like we have so many stickers and GIFs that I've been making. And I started doing that even before Wizard. I was doing that with other projects. Some of them paid me for it, and that's how I started believing in myself. Where it's like, hey, I could, like, what if I did my own? Because I made the background art for some other crypto projects, like gambling mini games, and then that just got me thinking, like, hey, I could probably do my own thing. And I don't know, Wizards is just an aesthetic that I wanted to roll with. Sorry, I got horribly off track.
So who are you working with?
I'm probably like the worst person for an AMA. for that reason. I get off track so hard.
That's so good.
God, I'm so sorry. Yeah, they're a really good friend of mine. They're a developer. You asked at one point, what do they do? To me, they do everything. Like I put them on such a high pedestal. I tell them all the time, like, you could do this project without me, but I cannot do this project without you. I don't know anything about blockchain like they do, like actually creating it in the smart contracts. As far as having contacts and knowing like who to go to, if there's something that's not in our capabilities for me or them, then it doesn't matter because they know who to go to get for it. And yeah, they're just, I just have to say everything, like everything except the art. But I even told them, like, you could just get another artist. Artists are like out there. You have to, you just find an artist on some site and then you just pay them and they'll do it. So I think that I have like a tremendous amount of faith in them. I love them so much. They could do this without me. I don't think I'd matter at all in this. I'm glad that they chose to be my partner in it, and I'm glad that they like my aesthetic with pixel art so much. But yeah, I don't know. I know that it could be like, it could seem sketchy to not dox an entire team, but I want to respect their wishes of not being doxed. But if my word means anything to anyone, just know that like they're one of the best people I've ever met. They're an absolute wizard.
Yeah, because the way that I can see it from you as well is that you really work together with trust, because especially in cryptocurrency, it's hard to find a good team. A lot of them is on contracting base or freelance base, and it's hard to time development for your project, for your developments. So, but by the way you say it, it seems that you guys are working together pretty well, that you guys talk to each other frequently, and that communications are going pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
I don't know how much people normally talk. We normally talk for like a few hours a day.
Oh, wow.
Is that not normal?
I wouldn't be able to say, but if you do a lot of that, if you have a lot of progress in that time you're talking, I think that's all right. So
actually, I'm not gonna lie to you. No, that's whenever they're talking to me, I just like, "Oh, Baba, did he do the thing yet?" And I'm like, I was talking to you. We're on a call right now. And they're like, "Yeah, I'm doing my stuff." And I'm like, I can't do that. I need to like shut off the lights. I need darkness everywhere. I need no sound. I need to just like focus on the thing that I'm doing. I can only do like one thing at a time. Yeah. And no, it's actually the opposite. I don't get anything done when they're talking to me. Like they want me to write articles and stuff. And I'm like, all right, if you want me to actually write this article for this Medium post, I gotta get off the phone right now.
So at least we know what you're doing when you can't be reached, Either you're sleeping or you're designing something.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So we've had all our questions done. So before we started this AMA, we decided that we would take as long as we would basically need. So if there's questions from the community adding to what we have already discussed, we would just take them all. Also, because this is the first IDO project for Seedify Fund, so we just want to give all the time that you need for answering the questions to make sure everything is clear to the people out there. So we have someone working in the background, Severe, who is at great help, coming up with a question here. Building partnerships is quite important. Going through the medium, I can see you have partnerships with GIDI Yield. I think that was just announced today.
JDI Yield, yeah.
Yeah. So does Wizard plan to have any strategic partners in the future?
Oh, so then they're not asking about them specifically. They're asking plan any Yeah. So this is gonna sound weird, but a lot of people that I've talked to have told us to like not do partnerships because they're like, partnerships are just like worthless. They just end up taking your coin and then like staking it and like you don't get enough from it. But I'm going in the opposite direction because with my partnerships, it's like NFTs, right? It costs me nothing but my own time to make what I need to make for the partnership because it's just me making pixel art. Like I look at their mascot, I make the mascot in their likeness, and then I just make a GIF of, related to it in some way.
Okay.
What would it take me, like an hour or two, like from scratch to make something for them? And then so it's like if I make an NFT, and then if after we launch and have our NFT marketplace, if we sell that, and then I give our partnership like half the profit, it's like we're reaching their community who's probably going to want to buy that. I'm getting half of the money, they're getting half of the money, so it's like it's a complete win-win. Whether or not you want to do staking, it's still a win-win.
Yeah.
And I don't know, there's a lot of people that are like really fast to like shut down partnerships. I'm not really sure why, but from my perspective, if it's like if our project is going to win and the other project is going to win and they're up for it, like why wouldn't you do partnerships? So yeah, partnerships are
Yep.
something that I'm really personally excited for, because it just helps everyone. It branches out your community more.
Yep.
Um, it's I think the way they see it is that it's like it could like leech some people away, but it's like there's been so much money made in the following bull market that like there's enough to go around. Like I was investing in just several different things. You don't have to put all your eggs in one basket. It's actually a really bad thing to do that. So I think
Yep.
branching out, and instead of putting $10,000, if you're lucky enough to have it in one project, like put like $2,000 into like 5 different projects or something like that. Yeah, I 2 thumbs up for partnerships. I love them.
All right. Cool. So let's move on to the next question. What do we have? Your website will be interactive and explorative. Are there going to be exclusive surprises to the first X to find them, a random amount, or are the interactions just for a richer user experience?
Um, that depends on which thing we do. We can do, let's see, a random amount. The first people, yeah. We could do all of those actually. And it's funny that they mentioned that, because that was one of the first things that I was thinking about for like having in our site is like I wanted there to be like hidden places throughout the website where like if your wizard hits, like if you go on this really small spot that's like right near a treasure chest or something. This is for our version 2 website, mind you, not the version 1 website. This would take a lot of cost to make, but
Oh, okay.
yeah, I wanted to make hidden pages where it's like you could go, whether it would be like a crypto gambling game, or whether like it's every time you go to this page, like you have the option of paying like 1 wizard to like it says like, oh, you've reached like the treasure chest page. There's a hidden treasure chest. You could spend 1 wizard like to open up the chest and see what's inside of it, and we could just make a certain amount of all the money that people give from like checking it, and you just put that into the pot as a reward that they get.
Okay.
And that could be abused by bots in some ways if they learn the threshold on like how much needs to be in there before it gives out a reward. But
Yeah.
like there's workarounds. But yeah, to answer their question, I want to do all of those things. I want to make
Okay.
some games I want there to be games that you could stumble across. I want there to be like some rewards that you stumble across, and
Okay.
yeah, we could even give away NFTs from that page too. We could do all of it, and I'm really excited to do all of it. So I hope that we have a successful IDO launch, because I'd really like to get started on that stuff sooner rather than later.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we're hoping for the same thing. That a lot of people may come into your project and that we just have a great launch altogether. So, how are we looking for the next question? Are we having any other questions? What is the ultimate goal of Wizard.financial like? Is it only limited to the NFTs or games, or is there anything else that you want to reach eventually?
Only limited to NFTs. I feel like saying only limited to NFTs or games is a bit. I don't know.
It's like there's nothing else.
Yes, like what do you mean only? Like that's I'm making games, like whole games. I haven't seen anyone else do that yet. Yeah, I guess it's only that, but no, we're gonna make more. I guess it's also about the website and the story. Well, I guess the story could just be part of the game, but yeah, there's gonna be the other tokens. I'm not like mostly. Yeah, it's about the NFTs and the games. Mostly,
And the charity.
like yeah, in the charity.
So
But there's yeah, there's just so many games we can make because we have like just with a platforming engine and with a top-down action adventure RPG engine that I already have from a game I've made in the past. If I wanted to just like take that engine and just make more games with it, if people want a top-down like Legend of Zelda type game, we could make that too. So, but yeah, it's mostly about the NFTs and the games.
So we got an addition to the question from the same person, I think. What he meant is there any other crypto field which Wizard Financial will explore?
Crypto field. Do you know what he means by that?
Could you? I mean, is there any other crypto field which Wizard Financial will explore? Robert, could you please be a bit more specific about your question? Do you mean like, okay, so other than NFT and gaming, like specifically, are you aiming at something? Because Wizard.
Maybe with one of our other coins, because we will have them do different things, but it's really like more of what we've already mentioned, like farming and stuff. Because Dragon is going to be a very exclusive coin. Knight is going to be a coin that's more suited for farming and stuff.
I'm just trying to think outside of the box here myself, like what kind of field. But then you would be. Let's go to the next question. What is the priority? The game, the financial staking platform, or the NFT aspect?
I mean, like all of them. We're just like because they're all good. Like people love staking. People love NFTs, and the game is like we already have it. So we already have the game.
But isn't part of the point of making a game on the blockchain the NFTs?
Yeah, it's I guess it's just like all of it, really. Just because it's like the whole point of the game is like. Because I could just release a game on my own, right? Like I don't need blockchain to make a game. I've already made games before, but I want to have it incorporated in the blockchain. And in order to do that, we need to create incentives, right? Like incentives to buy the coin, incentives to hold the coin, and then we do that through NFTs. So it's like they're all kind of together. I guess you don't need the staking part to be a part of it, but that's part of what gives it such utility. So I don't know. I hope I'm not disappointing.
No, I think the NFTs, like you said before, with the staking, it's an incentive for people to hold, or the NFTs are, like you mentioned, they can be combined in something. So the incentive to play the game, to get more NFTs, which is basically making those two connected to each other directly, to be able to combine them to get a better NFT. And from what I concluded, what you said before, is that NFTs can also be used to unlock new levels. I
hope I'm not disappointing them with my answer, but it seems like they're all, in my mind, they're all like just the same. They're all part of the same, they're all part of the core. Because they're all going to like the games and the NFTs are going to happen no matter what. I've already sold NFTs. I used to sell them on Bakery Swap. We'll probably just continue doing that until we have our own native. I want to wait until we have our own native NFT marketplace, so that I could actually promise all of that utility. So any NFTs that people buy on like other platforms that I've sold art on, I can't promise that those are going to have utility in the future, because I don't know how they work behind the scenes. Like I could already make NFTs, I could already make games. So now we just need the staking part. It is the only thing left to come, really. So just the NFT marketplace, and I think I could probably get our own DeFi platform with our own like staking and stuff. It would take a good chunk of my personal funds eaten up. But I could make it, and then maybe recoup some of that cost, like post IDO, with some of the funds like from the development wallet. I would essentially be making a gamble, and pay if I wanted to pay for it ahead of time. and then yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Yeah. I understand. So do we have another question coming right now?
Mhm.
How did wait? Um,
How do you come to decide Seedify platform for your first IDO, since this is also their first IDO? Please tell us your criteria is choosing Seedify compared to their highly known competitors. Well, we're actually doing a dual IDO launch. We're launching with both Oxbow and Seedify on July 14th and 15th.
yep.
As far as the criteria, I mean, we talked to Levent, and he's just like a really nice guy. He seems like he really knows what he's talking about. He has a good head on his shoulders. He's someone that I really wanted to launch with, and actually, the dual IDO launch idea came from him. We were supposed to launch with Oxbow on July 5th, and then the whole process felt kind of rushed. So I guess it was like really fortunate, because in my own head I was wishing that like we could push the date back a bit so we would have more time for marketing and everything. And then when the dual IDO thing came up, that ended up pushing it back to July 14th and 15th. So that ended up working out really well. But yeah, I guess that's the criteria, is just if it seemed like we could get a good launch from those partners, and if they actually seemed invested in us. So Oxbow is paying for the audit that we're doing and everything like first, and then we're going to repay them afterwards. So that showed good faith in us, which I really like. And Seedify is I don't know how much I'm allowed to say about it, but Seedify is helping us out with marketing a bit, and without saying anything like too specific, I will say that they're being very generous and selfless with like normally an IDO platform will take a certain fee from you for launching, and without giving out any numbers, I'll just say that like Seedify is being very generous to us with that. So it seems like they know that they're bringing something good to their community.
Yeah, exactly. They seem to not only care about you but also the community, and try to guarantee that perhaps not guarantee, but at least try to assure as much as possible that the project that they are launching are at least of acceptable and even a good quality, like Wizard Financial.
Mm-hmm.
All right. When will be the main platform launch?
If only I was an oracle. Yeah, I don't know how. So I assume it's going to be like there's an IDO launch. I assume within the next like couple days of the launch, we would receive the money raised from Seedify and from Oxbow, and then we would push most of it into liquidity, and then the rest we would keep for the further development of the project. So pretty much version 2 doesn't start development until that IDO happens. So that probably won't start until like a week from now. And I think programmers usually say you could do anything as long as you have enough time and money. So the faster you want something to happen, the more money you would have to pay. So we could probably come out with our platform in like, depends on like which parts, because we have a pretty ambitious roadmap, but we could probably come out with it in a few weeks, maybe a month. I really don't like giving out timelines, because things just always get delayed. Things always take longer than you think they're going to, and it's very demoralizing for the people making it, and also for the community when you have this date in mind and then it keeps on getting pushed back. So I don't think it's really a good idea to just give like false promises on a time. That's something that I don't really know much about yet.
Yeah, that's understandable. Thank you for that. Do we have more questions? With your own NFT marketplace, how are you going to attract users to get into it since there are already too many? All right.
That would just be from our games, really. In aesthetic, it's yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna lie and say like, oh, we're gonna be bigger than Bakery Swap on day one. There's a lot of titans out there, but it really just comes down to we're a niche. We're a niche community, I guess, for anyone that likes the like retro styled video games. It's just a very niche market, I guess. People that like that are gonna like us a lot, and if it's like not for anyone else, then they just wouldn't be for it. But I think in our age group, there's a lot, like in the crypto space too, since it's all magic internet money essentially. I think that there's going to be a lot of people that are for it, because it's the people that are investing right now, like my age and your age, Marcus, are they're people that grew up with these games, so they're going to like the aesthetic of it. They're going to be already involved in crypto. So yeah, I think it's going to be pretty successful.
Okay, cool. Do we have another? I want to ask, what are the security measures you adopted to ensure maximum security for your users so they can trust you and be assured of not losing their funds to hackers? All right.
So yeah, we're hackers. So I guess all I could really say is, so I'm not the person who does the smart contracts. That's all up to my developer. But we have been taking feedback, and we're being like overly cautious at this point with our smart contract. We've been making changes to it. Anytime someone says like, hey, what about this thing that's in here? It's like, then we'll just we change it. Even if it's something that we don't think needs to be changed, we take their input, we ask what they think we should do about it, how they think we should change it, and they just have a discussion. I'll wake up, there's been days where I woke up to like over 200 messages on Telegram, and I just like look at it, and it's a group chat with like the auditor and my partner just going back and forth about how they could like make this better the whole time. So I mean, they've been working at it. Even if I think it's better to be safe than sorry, but yeah, even on things that seem like really minuscule and unimportant, they've been really vigilant about. So between that and between like how incredibly doxed I am, hopefully that fosters a good amount of trust.
Yeah, because before you mentioned something about Oxbow, that they're doing the audit. So does that mean that they're doing the audit on the whole developing part? What are they exactly auditing, and will there be other audits as well?
They're auditing the smart contract.
Okay.
We had other auditors in mind, but they said that they said we're Oxbow. We've had, at that point it was like 15. I think now they're up to like maybe 16 successful launches, and they said, so we've been using like this person for it. We highly recommend them. So I was like, okay, I mean, you're the veteran here. You're in the double digits with like successful launches. And this is, this is my first launch. So I thought like, who am I to decline them that? Because like, what do I know about any of the auditors? I even offered to have more than one auditor, honestly. And they were like, nah, don't worry about it. Like ours is the best. They're like, if you want to do that, you can. I was like, well, I just wanted you to just know that like I don't mind like going above and beyond for this. So we're doing everything we can and like a bit more, just to make sure that everything's safe and trustworthy.
Yeah. Okay.
And we also did a private KYC with it. It's private, so it's like it's not like we could. It's not like a public KYC, so it wouldn't really. I guess it doesn't really help some people that are like really, really skeptical, but for what it's worth, we have done our private KYC with them as well.
Okay, cool. Do we have any more questions? Yes, we do. Thank you for your succinct answer to my question. my last question is, where will you be listed after the IDO, and when do you think it will be listed to major central exchanges like Binance? Well,
When
everyone would
Binance.
like to know that, including me. All right, come on, bring us a
When
date.
Binance. I heard that it costs like $500,000 to get listed on Binance. Is that right?
I don't know the exact number for that one,
It's a
but I've heard
staggering
exchanges
amount.
like KuCoin, for example, they cost about, I think, $250,000.
What? $250,000?
Yeah.
We should have gotten into that earlier. The last figure I heard for that was like $70,000. Damn. So I guess for Binance, if it's like over $500,000, I'm not paying that. I mean, that's more than our entire raise.
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet. I mean, yeah. Oh, I'd love to say that. Yeah, we could do that someday.
Yeah.
Oh, the question's gone. What was the first part? I was too focused on the second part of that question. Let me see.
Oh, can we bring it back up, that question? I think he said, thank you. Okay. Where will you be listed after the IDO? Yeah.
So we're kind of going back and forth between ApeSwap and PancakeSwap.
Okay.
I think we're like, I wanted so bad to go with ApeSwap. I think my partner wanted a bit more support from them. And then I think after we talked to some partnerships and launch partners, they convinced my partner to go ahead with PancakeSwap. So if I'm not mistaken, it's currently set to PancakeSwap.
Okay.
For other coins, ApeSwap has. This is kind of like informal, but ApeSwap really wanted to launch. When I told them about like the future coins, like Knight and Dragon, they seemed really interested in those ones. So who knows what the future holds? Maybe we'll go with ApeSwap as our main place for liquidity with one of our future tokens. I would personally, if it's up to me, I would just want to go with ApeSwap. I think for now it is PancakeSwap though.
Yeah, because
ApeSwap, if you're watching this, I love you, and please, I would love nothing more than to do one of our future coins with you, because you guys are great. Julian especially, I love Julian. That guy's great. I talked to him a lot. He wants to work on some games together with me.
Cool.
So, and I'd love to. I already did the pixel art for an ape. I put a couple into my demo game. Just sitting there on the trees and everything.
So just wondering myself. So while we're talking about the ApeSwap, but especially Binance, I mean everyone wants to be listed on Binance. So Binance does have this program for a most valuable build. Have you heard of that? And have you considered?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm I'm transparent to a fault. No, I've never heard of that. The only thing I knew about Binance is that people say it costs like $500,000 to get listed on it. It's like, come on. I mean, if you have $500,000, I don't think you need to get listed on Binance. I don't think that's like your issue anymore. It sounds like you're doing good enough on your own if you have that kind of money.
Okay, cool. All right, do we have any more questions? If there's no more questions coming up, then I think we're just gonna round it off for tonight. We've been about 1.5 hours in almost. I think that's long enough for the people that are still here with us.
Yeah.
So
there's always going to be people asking questions. It's just a matter of like how.
Look at that. We got a message coming up.
Hello.
Thanks, Levin. All right, awesome. All right, so we're just gonna round it off for tonight. Thank you, Brian, especially for being here with us tonight. I mean, you spent 1.5 hours with us, and you are extremely busy like any other developer or manager in a project team. So, thank you very much from the Seedify HODLer community, everyone that watched tonight. I think there might even be some people from Oxbow that watched. Thanks from all of us for being here with us. So we are really looking forward to the 14th and the 15th of July for the IDO with both Seedify and Oxbow, and then we are really looking forward to the launch of the game, I'd say.
Yeah.
This was live tonight. So after this, we're gonna put it on our YouTube channel, just to inform you about that. That's all okay for you, Brian?
Yeah, and I just wanted to thank you for really everything. I wish that everyone that I worked with from every partnership was as like attentive and helpful as you were.
Thank you.
You're a gem. You truly are.
Thank you, man. That's really nice to hear. So after that, I want to thank also the people that are basically working together with us. So we have Severe, which nobody can see, but is doing a lot of work organizing basically the whole technical part of this AMA. The questions that pop up in the screen, that's all from him. And we have a great team normally, which is George and Richard, who couldn't be here tonight, who could usually also attend for the AMA. So they might join in for future AMAs. I might not be there all the time. And then we have a lot of dedicated members in the HODLers group that are helping us with administration, helping us to promote the IDOs, the projects, everything, because we just really believe that Seedify is a great project, not only for the IDOs and the launchpad, but also for the seed funding that's coming, the incubation that's coming, the community involvement that's coming, and I believe a lot of that is going to happen this quarter, following the roadmap for that. So thanks for everyone that was here tonight. Thanks for everyone that helped. Thank you for coming again, and everyone that's watching this, please, if you can, like it, subscribe, and join us again for the next AMA, because we have another one coming up in less than a week.
Nice.
So, all right, cool. So I think we're just gonna leave it with that. I'd say a lot of luck with the last preparations for the IDO.
Thank you.
If you need anything, if you have any questions, just let us know.
Alrighty, will do.
All right, cool. All right.
Do we like leave now? How do we leave? How do we?
No, that's just all good. You're just gonna wizard your way out. You know, you just grab your broomstick and then just fly out.
Do we wait for Safer to like end the stream, or do I leave broadcast? Or
No, you're